Live from the WAME News Center, this is the 6 o'clock news. Iredell County's trusted news leader with Bryson Davis.
Good evening. This is the WAME 6 o'clock news. I'm Bryson Davis. As the community continues to watch closely, law enforcement is pressing forward tonight in the search for a missing Iredell County teenager. Deputies say 14-year-old Gideon Andrew Ferguson was last seen around 4 p.m. on Wednesday at his home on Watermoss Drive in Cleveland. Investigators say Gideon did not return after being dropped off from school, prompting an immediate and ongoing search. Earlier this afternoon, I had the opportunity to sit down with Sheriff Campbell to discuss the latest developments. Sheriff Campbell, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to come by.
Absolutely. I want to ask you a couple of questions. The first one, what can you tell us so far about the timeline of Gideon's disappearance and what investigators believe happened between the time he was last seen and when he was reported missing?
The timeline is a family member, which is usual to drop him off at his residence somewhere around approximately 3:30. When the other part of his parents, one of them arrived home, noticed that he was missing around 4:30. Well, let me correct that, around 4 o'clock. Around 4 o'clock. So at that time, we were finally contacted about 30 minutes later as a missing person. Obviously, our investigators and our patrol guys responded to the scene, and that's where all this started. And all I can tell you is he was dropped off, and then another parent noticed he was missing.
Can you tell us what resources are currently being used in the search and how that strategy has evolved throughout the situation?
Currently, we have a lot of resources that we're using. We have search teams from different parts of the state that we're using here for woodland searches. Our emergency management is playing a huge part. North Carolina Highway Patrol has assisted us with perimeter along with our deputies, K-9 teams. A lot of drone technology, and a lot of that is used not just the flying but also the thermal imaging due to the temperatures. It's a huge aid in helping us locate warmer spots to be in the wood, and it covers a lot more land than just on foot. But we're also using approximately 75 to 100 searchers per day.
I want to ask you about digital evidence like phone or online activity. How are the investigators using that digital evidence to help track his movements?
Well, in today's times, there's a lot of technology. Obviously, the Federal Bureau of Investigation reached out to us yesterday. They have technology and specialties that we may not have on the local level. We may have specialties that they utilize as well. So, but analyzing digital evidence such as gaming systems, cell phone, extraction of data that may or may not have been deleted, out-of-state search warrants and things of that nature that we need to get from these companies that may have information stored there. The Federal Bureau brings a huge help to us in retrieving that information fast without having to wait on state paperwork.
So you talk about federal partners. What role are they playing in the search, and what additional capabilities have they brought to the investigation?
Well, the big part has been able to analyze and fast-track digital evidence recovery. So their job is to go in, find stuff that it would take us a little longer to get ultimately, and they have the technology to be able to go and extract it a lot faster because they have jurisdiction anywhere in the country and other places that we may need to retrieve that information.
So for residents that are in the area, what specific information would be most helpful for them to report right now?
I think the best information, if you've seen anything, if you wasn't home that day, you've been on vacation, you just came back, is if you see something suspicious or you think you've seen something or even heard something, let us know. Contact the Sheriff's Office or any of the first responders you may see. That's the biggest thing, is just getting information. Right now we've done canvas neighborhood. We're going through our second or third canvas to make sure we didn't miss nobody that wasn't at home. We're checking ring camera, outside footage. Potentially could have caught anybody coming and going from the residence. So if you see anything, please reach out to us. You can do it through the Iredell County Sheriff's Office app, which is free to download. You can follow us on Iredell County Sheriff Facebook, and you can send us an anonymous message if you prefer and get us information. And all that is real time. If you send it, we'll get it.
Okay, so is there anything, talking about the public, is there anything the public should avoid doing that could interfere with the search efforts or the investigation?
I want to say first that the public has been unbelievably helpful with us, sharing the information we get, keeping us informed. A lot of local businesses have offered food and beverages to make sure the searchers are able to keep going. The biggest thing I would stray away, and I tell you about this, is if it's not factual information, don't put it out there to fact, because we spend more time trying to follow up on leads that may just be something somebody heard from somewhere else. So make sure if you do push it, try to make sure it's factual, and I prefer you to call us first. Otherwise, some people's wondering why don't we call in a lot of people from different places with horses and four-wheelers. The reason we don't do that is because we have people that specialize in those type of searches. that have trained dogs for certain reasons. We don't want to contaminate our scenes. We don't want any unnecessary sightings, because otherwise we'd be constantly following unnecessary sightings. So right now the area is sterile. We're using that with other than our searchers, and that has worked unbelievably well for the last 24 to 36 hours.
So, still talking about the community, obviously, as the sheriff, what message do you have? Because the community's heavily involved, everybody's very concerned about the situation. So, what's your message to the community today at this time?
I think the biggest message is we are leaving no stone unturned. We're working every angle on this investigation, from the woodland search to the missing person on this side, to dealing with neighbors, canvassing the neighborhoods, in turn working with our state and our federal partners as far as digital footprints and digital evidence that we need to recover. And we're using those because it's the fastest way possible to recover this information. Technology is a big key in these kind of cases now. It's not like the old day where a phone call or a pager or something like that. Now we're worried about game system, hidden messaging, chat rooms, hidden files on phones, computers, and a lot of that stuff, user identities that may be masked, user IDs, profiles, all that kind of stuff has to be retrieved. And at the same time, work this side of the investigation as a regular missing person, or not a regular, but a missing person of a juvenile that's 14 years of age, at some of the lowest temperatures we've seen the whole year. So that's got a big emphasis, and we have to make sure our first responders are taken care of and they have the equipment to continue to go forward and help us. At the same time, deal with the press and try to get accurate information out. At the same time, follow up the leads and try to work this case. This is not just in Iredell. This is something we've done in the western part of the state late yesterday evening in conjunction with this case, and most likely it's going to lead out of state. So or at least that side potentially could lead out of state. So that's where we're at.
Authorities are asking the public to avoid active search areas so teams can continue their work safely and efficiently. Anyone with information that could help locate Gideon Andrew Ferguson is urged to contact the Iredell County Sheriff's Office or call 911 immediately. Statesville police are asking for the public's help after a larceny reported this week at a local business. The Statesville Police Department says the incident happened Wednesday, January 14th at a Harbor Freight store here in Statesville. Investigators say 2 suspects are believed to be involved and left the area in a silver Mercedes-Benz SUV displaying a 30-day tag. Police have released descriptions of both individuals and hope someone may recognize them. The first suspect is described as a white male between 5 foot 10 inches and 6 foot tall, wearing a dark hoodie, ball cap, jeans, and black shoes. The second suspect is also described as a white male of similar height, wearing a blue hoodie, dark pants, boots, and a dark-colored bucket hat. Authorities say even small details could help move the investigation forward. Anyone who recognizes the suspects or has information related to this case is asked to contact the Statesville Police Department at 704-878-3406. Police say the investigation is ongoing. 2 former Rowan County deputies are now facing criminal charges after a year-long internal investigation. One turned himself in, another one followed, and both are accused of larceny by employee and obstruction of justice. We'll break down what led to the indictments coming up after the break.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Two former deputies are facing criminal charges following an internal investigation that began nearly a year ago within the Rowan County Sheriff's Office. According to officials, Jeremy Dwayne Thomason turned himself in Tuesday evening, January the 13th, at the Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office. He was served with warrants charging him with larceny by employee and obstruction of justice and was issued a $5,000 unsecured bond. Investigators say the charges stem from an internal investigation launched on March 12th of 2025 by Sheriff Travis Allen after a division supervisor identified concerns involving the handling of items recovered in a stolen property case. Officials say the issue was discovered internally and was not the result of an outside complaint. After learning of the allegations, Sheriff Allen requested an independent investigation by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. Based on preliminary findings, 2 detectives were terminated. Authorities say the investigation determined the incident was isolated and that all items involved were accounted for. The case was later reviewed by the Randolph County District Attorney's Office. A grand jury returned indictments against Thomason and Christopher Michael Greer on charges of larceny by employee and obstruction of justice. Greer also turned himself in Tuesday at the Rowan County Sheriff's Office and received a $5,000 unsecured bond. Sheriff's officials say documentation related to the request for the state investigation has been released as part of the public record. Both cases will now move forward through the court system. A Raleigh-based chocolate company has expanded a nationwide recall over concerns about possible contamination. Spring & Mulberry says routine testing prompted a voluntary recall of several chocolate products. What began as a single-item recall has now expanded to include multiple flavors made on the same equipment. The products were sold nationwide online and through select retailers. So far, no illnesses have been reported. Consumers are urged not to eat the recalled chocolates and to check packaging for brand, flavor, and lot information. The company says affected products should be discarded and customers can contact Spring & Mulberry for a refund or replacement details. Officials encourage shoppers to stay aware of food recalls and check product alerts regularly. If you don't have a real ID, your next trip could cost you more time and money. A new $45 fee and added airport screening go into effect soon. What travelers need to know after the break.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Air travelers without a real ID or other approved identification will soon face an added step at airport security. Starting Saturday, January 31st, passengers without a real ID will be required to pay a $45 identity verification fee before passing through airport checkpoints operated by the Transportation Security Administration. The fee covers a new system called TSA Confirm ID and is valid for a 10-day travel window. State officials say most North Carolinians are already compliant. The North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles reports more than 5 million residents, about 58%, have obtained a real ID. Acceptable identification includes real ID licenses, U.S. passports, and trusted traveler cards such as Global Entry. Passengers without approved ID are encouraged to pay the fee in advance and bring a receipt to the airport. TSA warns travelers without a real ID could face longer wait times. Residents can check requirements and needed documents at ncrealid.gov. Colder air settles in this weekend, bringing chilly nights and cool daytime temperatures. Friday night will be cool and mostly cloudy across Iredell County, with overnight lows falling to around 30 degrees. No significant precipitation is expected, but temperatures will remain chilly into early Saturday morning. Saturday is expected to be slightly warmer, with daytime highs reaching the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. Skies will remain cloudy through the morning with a slight chance of light rain early, followed by a gradual clearing in the afternoon. Overnight temperatures Saturday will drop into the upper 20s as cold air moves back into the region. Sunday will bring cooler conditions with highs near 39 degrees and mostly dry weather expected. There is a small chance of light wintry precipitation early in the day, but conditions should improve by the afternoon with partly sunny skies. Sunday night temperatures will fall sharply with lows near 18 degrees. Residents are encouraged to prepare for cold mornings and remain cautious of changing weather conditions, particularly during early morning hours. That's the 6 o'clock news. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bryson Davis. We'll see you next time on Monday right here, the WAME News at 6.
Stay informed. Stay ahead. WAMEnews.com. Social and on air.